And all I'm gonna do is, I have my cake on my turntable, I have my rolling pin, and the best way is just to start at the edge and roll towards you. And if you find there are any big kind of clumps of dry stuff on the bottom, just brush them off with your hands. And this is just the easiest way to transfer. Now that I have it, I can just lift up my rolling pin. Make sure you're going far enough away from the edge that it's not gonna cut into the cake. So I'm starting kind of on the side and just gently rolling over and releasing. And you definitely want to have extra. You don't necessarily need this much extra, but you definitely want to have extra. So a good thing to do at this point is kind of immediately just to trim a little bit. So with my paring knife, I'm just trimming off a bit of excess fondant. Because that's too much here. And don't feel like you have to get rid of anything you don't use. Just knead it back together. Make sure you wrap it up really tight. And you can see immediately, just like Play-Doh, it comes right back together and you can use it later. But all I'm gonna do is gently rub the surface, make sure there are no air bubbles. And work my way down. And you're starting right at the top. And if you see any folds, just as you go, you're doing this very gently. And as it goes down, it's just gonna kind of start to stretch itself out and become like a little skirt. You can see I'm just moving around my cake and rubbing. And once I get toward the bottom, I can just kind of keep going and seal my edges. Now is a great time, my smoother, just kind of give it a quick rub. That should smooth out any big bumps that I have. Same thing, I can go around my sides if I want to. And you're really looking for kind of 90-degree angles. But here's the time when I would just start to trim. And if there are any little imperfections, keep in mind you're going to be covering it anyway with decorations, but the nicer you can get it, the better. The problem with the bottom is this is kind of the part where you may get crumbs. So this part I just kind of get rid of. Unless you feel like it's really clean and you want to save it, then save it. But otherwise it's kind of a necessary sacrifice. But I just make sure I go all the way around, make sure it's nice and smooth. And that is it. So that's a quick way to cover a cake with fondant.